Hey there, my name is Kelly Dale with Off the Beaded Path BeadStore.com. Thanks so much for joining me today because we are going to be making a brand new bracelet that I call the Leftovers Bracelet. So I was going through my stash the other day and I looked and I had 27 colors of 2-hole bar beads, Czechmate bar beads. And I thought to myself, why? Why do you have all of these colors in your stash? I have no idea why. But then I got to looking and I had some honeycomb beads left over from the Sticks and Stones bracelet, which I will link down below if you've not watched that bracelet. So I thought, gosh, I need to figure out something to kind of use up my stash, but I wanted something quick and easy. So the Leftovers bracelet was born. The great thing about this project is you can really use almost any 2-hole bead in your stash, all right? So let's talk about your bead choices and your seed bead choices and all of that. But first, I want you to run over to Off the Beaded Path BeadStore.com and get the free download for today's project. It's under the step-by-step tutorials category, and then under the free category, you'll see it there. I'll also try to link it on the homepage for a couple of weeks, so you will see it under featured in the homepage. So let's talk about our seed beads that you're going to need. The great thing is it does not matter what brand of seed bead you use. You need 1 gram of a size 11 seed bead. It can be Miyuki, it can be Toho, it can be Czech, it can be Preciosa, it can be whatever you want as long as it's a size 11 seed bead. Now I am going to be using about 4 grams of a bar bead and I will show you what that looks like. If you don't have bar beads, you can probably use super duos in place of those, but you will need to put a size 11 seed bead between each of those super duo beads because they're not going to lay flat against each other like the bar beads are. Other than the bar beads, you can use, like I said, just about any 2-hole bead to make this project. On this bracelet here, I used the ginkgo beads, but I've tested 2-hole cabochons, the ginkgo beads, Gemduo. I have tested a lot of 2-hole beads, and I'll show you some of those different variations. But you're only going to need about 10 to 15 of those beads, along with a couple of jump rings, your favorite type of clasp that you like to use, a size 10 needle, and 2 yards of your favorite thread. It can be whatever thread that you have laying on your bead table. So let's go ahead and get started. So I wanted to show you really quickly some great examples of different beads that you can use. So this is one that has some of those beautiful etched honeycomb beads. And then you can see here that I've used a silver and a turquoise bar bead. Here's one where I used a 2-hole cabochon. Now it does not matter if you use a 7mm or a 6mm 2-hole cab. Both of them will work. And I believe I used Toho seed beads on this one. Here's another one where I used a honeycomb bead. And then this one, I used Gemduo beads. So this one was I really like this one. Love how that looks. Now, I also tested the ginkgo beads. If you use a regular size 11 seed bead here and here, the pattern does not work well. So I ended up just using some true to fire polish beads that I had in my stash. So as you can see, a ginkgo bead will work as well. And on this one, I actually used 3 different colors of bar beads. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, what a bar bead is, these are made by the Starman Company. They are Czechmate bar beads is their official name. They have 2 holes here and here. You can see they look like a little bar. They're just a little tiny bead here. They're very small. Let me get my little, so you can see they're about the size of those. So they are a smaller size bead. So to get started, I've threaded my needle with 2 yards of thread. Now you'll either need to put on a stop bead or leaving yourself about 8 inches, I'm going to put on a little micro bead stopper. Okay, you can put one of these or a stop bead, whatever you want to do, completely up to you. So the great thing about using a bead that is not double-sided, okay, so like this bead right here, you see it's got a rounded and then a flat side, and then same thing, this one has a rounded and then a flat side. The great thing about using a bead that's not that, using a bead that is flat on both sides, is that I don't have to really pay attention to how I pick the beads up. I can pick up either hole. Now, if you're going to pick up or use a bead like a Gemduo or a bead here, you're going to need to pay attention to how you pick these beads up. It will make a difference. So to start off, I'm going to pick up a pattern of beads. It's going to be 3 of my bar beads. Now, you can do 3 solid. You can do 3 colors like I'm doing here, or you can do like I did here and just use 2 colors and just kind of alternate them, you know, just use what's in your stash. So I've got 3 of those. I have a size 11 seed bead. A accent bead is what I call it in the pattern, and a size 11 seed bead. So again, 3 bar beads, an 11, an accent, and an 11. That is a repeat. This is what I call a repeat in the pattern. So we are going to continue to pick up these beads until I have the length of bracelet that I want. So again, a repeat is 3 bars. So 1, 2, 3. An 11, an accent, and an 11. Bring those down, and voila. So I'm going to continue adding this until I get the length I need. Once you have all of the repeats that you want for your bracelet, we want to end with 3 of the bar beads, just like we did when we started. Now, if you get to the end and you say, no, 3 bar beads are going to be too many, it's going to make the bracelet too big, then what you can do is put on 1 bar bead and then take 2 off on this end so it kind of evens it out. Either way, we want to end with a bar bead. All right. So I'm going to go ahead, slide my beads down there, and now I'm ready to attach the clasp. Now, if you do not want to attach the clasp yet, you can do what I've done here, and I've just done 6 seed beads so that I can go back and attach the clasp later, because it's very, very, very easy to attach that clasp. I actually already have my jump rings attached to the lobster claw I'm going to use. So I'm going to actually attach it while I'm going. So I've got 3 11s, my clasp, and 3 11s. And I'm going to take the needle, and I'm going to zoom in here just a little bit for you. There we go. So I'm going to take the needle now. It's coming out of these 3 bar beads. So I'm going to come across to the open hole of the bar beads, and I'm going to go through those 3 beads just like that. I'm going to put my finger here as I pull, and when I pull, I'm going to pull in this direction because that's the direction that the thread is coming out of the beads. That way it pulls everything tightly. Now, don't worry, I'm going to show you how to reinforce this, and then once we finish, we'll actually be working all the way back around. So don't worry about that only having one little loop of thread in it. We are going to pick up 111, go through the open hole of the next accent bead. I'm going to put my finger there and pull, and then pick up 111. And I'm going to go through the next 3 bar beads. So that my piece is starting to look like this. Now, if you want to, you can definitely pick this up to work on it at this point. I just find it easier in the beginning just to do this little part right here, laying down. But now I pick up 1 bead. I come through the accent bead, and then I pick up 111 bead, and I come through the next 3 bar beads there. So I'm just going to continue working down my piece until I come out of the end bar beads here on the other side. As you work, it's going to loosen up just a little bit. Don't let it loosen up so much that it's going to twist. Okay, as we work, it will tighten up and we will do some other things to get it tight. But right now, let it do its thing. Let it stay loose. When you get to the other end, now we're ready to put the other part of the clasp on. But if you are using a bead such as a Gemduo bead or even a ginkgo bead like this, sometimes their holes are not drilled 100% straight. And it's going to cause your beadwork to buckle just a little bit. So before you actually do this next step, what you want to do, if you have any buckling, number one, check to make sure your piece did not get twisted as you were passing back through. The second thing is so you can take your fingers and start here and just kind of smooth out the tension on your piece a little bit. And when you do that, that will help to even things out if the bead holes were not entirely straight. Like you can see this bead right here, it doesn't sit entirely straight because the hole was drilled just a little off on that bead. So just be aware of that, and you can just take your fingers and kind of do like this to get some of that tension out. So because I know I'm to the end here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slide, not completely off, but I'm going to take and I'm going to slide my little bead stopper up a little bit away from the clasp area. And if you have a stop bead on here, just simply pull it up so it's out of your way. We're going to do the same thing we did on that other end. It's 6 11/0s. I'm going to go ahead and put on my little oval ring here. If you don't do the clasp yet, just put on 6 11/0s. And then just like the other side, my thread is coming out here. Now I'm going to take the needle and pass through these 3 bar beads. Put my finger there as I pull, and give me 1 second. Let me grab it. There we go. All right, now I'm going to come back up here. So to do that, I'm going to take the needle. Right now it's coming out of this hole of my bar beads. So I'm going to come across to the 3 11s, and then I'm going to try to hit my 6s as not my 6s, my size 6 seed beads as I work. Oh my gosh, my 6 size 11 seed beads. Oh my gosh. Okay, now that I've learned to say my sizing right. Okay, so I've gone through those 6 beads, and now I'm going to take and tie the tail and the working thread together. And once I do that, then I can go ahead and pull the stop bead completely off, or take my little bead stopper all the way off. And this time I'm going to do a little double knot. Okay. Now, again, before you pull that knot really tightly, go ahead and just take your hands and, ooh, that little gold is making it be blurry today. But take your fingers and just do like this to kind of get any excess tension out, and then pull it snugly. Okay, technically you're done, but we want to go back and we're going to reinforce this because we need to reinforce this up here. So the first thing I'm going to do is on this side where my needle and my working thread are at, I'm going to continue to pass through the beads that are on this side of the bracelet. So I'm not going to add anything. I'm just going to go down the row and pop beads, or pop the thread in place, not beads in place. They're already there. Lord, I am riding on the Hot Mess Express today, y'all. I got a front row seat. So all you're going to do, like I'm doing here, is just continue to pass through the beads until you get to the other end. Now, while I'm doing that, I will tell you that each one of these bracelets, I've made like one set bigger each time I make it. And it's just because I love these and I want to wear these stacked together. So say like on this one, I have let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Okay, I have 13 of these Gemduo sections, honeycomb sections. And on this one, I only have 12. So each time I make it one section bigger or smaller, just because of the fact, like I said, I want to stack these, wear them stacked. So it's completely up to how you want to do them. Now, when I get here to the end, I'm going to pass through those 6 size 11 seed beads and then down through the 3 bar beads, the other hole of those bars. But then I'm going to come back up again through the bars. And yes, it's going to put a little tiny thread right there, but heavens, nobody's going to see that. And then I'll go through the 6 again. And I do this twice to help reinforce this. Especially if I'm going to use a magnetic closure, I will reinforce that several times. But just with a lobster claw or a toggle, I think you'll be fine. Now, as I start to work down this way, I'm going to throw in some little half hitch knots. Okay, so maybe each time I get close to an 11, I'm just going to throw one in there. We've already got it tied on the one side, but I just want to be safe, better safe than sorry. So I just put a couple through here. And once I get to the end, then I will trim this long thread. Once you have the working thread cut off and you're done with it, put a needle onto the tail thread, do exactly like we did with the working thread, tie it off, and then you have an awesome new bracelet that you are ready to wear. So friends, once you have all those threads cut off, you've got a bracelet, a ready-made bracelet. I love, love, love these. Like I said, make them, stack them together. They're using up a lot of your stash, so give them away as Christmas gifts. Put, you know, a lobster claw and some extender chain and give these away as gifts for Christmas or Hanukkah or, you know, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate the holiday seasons, or, you know, or heck, if you don't celebrate, just give them away. Make somebody's day, make them happy. So you can see there, they are so quick and so fun to make. And I do hope you'll check those out. And remember, if you did not do it yet, hop on over to offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com and grab your free pattern. I can't talk today. Grab your free pattern for the project. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.